not too many people talk about it, so I thought, hey, I should do a video that kind of like sums it up, Although it's been a lot of hard work, it literally boiled down to just a few fundamentals for me to actually put myself in better health, better metabolic health, and certainly weight loss. So here's what I did. I actually went ahead and found out that there are a couple fundamentals that I needed to address, and it all started with, first of all, just the timing. The timing of when I ate was so horrible. I had to shift that. I did learn later that it's called intermittent fasting, but my son started this stuff years ago. But me, I thought he was nuts. He wouldn't eat anything after 7 o'clock at night, and I didn't know what was going on with that. Then he goes back to his normal routine. So that's one of the things I started with. Start with just making sure that I would not have my body processing food late at night. I would not sleep on it. I wanted my body to burn some of its own fat, not all the stuff I keep putting in, right? And so that was one of the unique things that I've done. Took care of the timing. That made all the difference in the world. However, it took me about a year or so before I realized, instead of eating out of routine because I'm told, hey, you gotta have breakfast, I learned to start eating when I was hungry. And if I wasn't hungry at 8 or 9 in the morning, I wasn't eating. My first meal wouldn't usually come till 11 or 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I began the gap between my last meal and my first meal, that was it, the gap. The gap in the timing between my last meal of the day and my first meal was life-changing. And so, yeah, it's a fundamental, but there's a name for it. There's a whole routine out there. We have our own podcast about fasting and all that. It's considered intermittent fasting. I didn't know that. When I was growing up, I only thought fasting means going not eating for a day. But I didn't realize just minimizing. Now, one of the things that helped me with the fundamentals was a couple of facts. We're not like cows. We don't have 4 stomachs. We don't have all these other things when it comes to eating. Our body was never created to eat every couple of hours. Now, yes, it does help the American consuming machine of, hey, let's market to them, let's make their appetites built up based on our branding and our advertising. But did you know you can watch a sporting event and not have to have pizza, beer, or wings or anything? I didn't think about this. So when I got to the point when I only ate within a timing window, it didn't matter what games were on or what activity people were doing. It took a lot, but certainly that fundamental was huge. The second fundamental, I think it was amazing for me. This second fundamental was one that I had to get past. I had to have a paradigm shift. I honestly thought the fundamental was workout, but I tried that. I had a personal trainer paying through the roof. My wife and I had memberships at the different gyms, and then had personal trainers inside there. Then we had a personal trainer for our son who was in football. We were spending thousands of dollars in training, but you know what? We kept building up, and I'm talking about working out, sweating like a lot of you and so forth, but I wasn't getting any reduction in weight. In fact, I wasn't getting any healthier. So the second fundamental I had to get past was I had to lower the amount of carbohydrates I was taking in. Now, unfortunately, that's all I like to eat. I didn't really like any of the other stuff. I didn't even like a lot of protein. I could have lived off of cookies, cakes, and ice creams and shakes and sweet coffees. And it took a while for me to find a way. How do I substitute the fact that I eat for flavor? I didn't have this understanding, and I didn't want anything to do with eating for health, because all the healthy food, to me, I thought tasted yucky. I wanted nothing to do with it. So the second fundamental was I had to learn to eat healthy by substituting taste. I learned to eat healthy with low-carb food, high protein, and high healthy fats. I learned to do that with substitution. So this whole idea of eating healthy with substitution, it's key, because of those of you, especially in the Black community, those of you who are of any culture, that you have lots of flavor in your food. It took a lot for me to find, what can I find that isn't all these processed foods and grains and all of these things that are not really healthy for the body? How would I get past that? And so with these fundamentals, it's taken a little bit of time. I said it wasn't easy, but I did. Once I mastered the fundamental, it was great. I don't eat any of the breads that are, sold and made from processed foods. I don't eat any of the from the grains and so forth. Not from white flour or wheat flour. Literally almond flour, cheeses, and other things like that. We make great bread. I just had some amazing lasagna yesterday, and I love to have spaghetti squash and I love the way things taste. I get all of the flavors without having the unhealthy stuff. Now, but because I like sweets, coffees, cakes, and other things like that, I learned to substitute. Don't eat the sugar. I don't put sugar in my coffee. That's like eating cigarettes, man. Why would you have coffee without sugar? Well, guess what? I learned to have these substitutes that are great. They don't taste like vitamins. They don't taste like chemicals. I don't like those. There's something out there called Swerve. There's something out there. There's different types of sweeteners that are out there that taste great. Then they have flavors like caramel, vanilla. That's what I do. So I still love the good sweet taste of coffee, but I won't put any of the toxic types of things that are like sugar. So I can have desserts made from the right things, but I ensure that everything I eat is going to be low carb. It's changed my life. So only two fundamentals so far: timing, then of course healthy eating using substitutes, the right type of flavors. Everything that might have the flavor, unfortunately, might have enough toxic things in it that's not going to be good for you. That took some time. It was a paradigm shift. But I want to tell you, there's a third paradigm that made all the world of difference. Now, I didn't understand how important measuring was. Measuring is a key part of how I'm able to, as I approach 60 next year, how I ensure that I keep the weight off and stay fit and stay healthy. I measure. I like to know what I weigh, not out of any type of extremism. I literally just need to know so I can know what I need to work on. I use mobile apps like Zero to know when my fasting window starts, so I know when I eat again. When I started off, my gap was only like 12 hours between my last meal and my first meal. But now I have great fortune because I've been doing it for so long. My last meal of the day to my next meal coming up is like 20 hours goes by. But guess what? I'm not starving. I'm not hungry because I eat the right foods. Because of these basic fundamentals, I'm not always starving. I could go and not feel anything and still keep the weight out of my neck, out of my face, out of my arms, out of no stomach. It took a while for me to understand this, but this is key. You want to make sure that you put yourself in position by keeping up with the basic fundamentals. Just really work with the timing. Last meal of the day to the first meal. Make that we call that a fasting window. Second thing is healthy eating. You want to have healthy eating, and if you require taste, get over it. You can have the best pizza in the world without ordering it from some store that's using white flour, stuff that bloats your stomach and gives you that cortisol issue. You don't have to worry about that. You can actually make it with some healthy type of breads. So what's really cool is that you can have your sweets without messing up and putting all the sugar. You know, the average American will eat, what they say, 100 pounds of sugar a year just from the food you eat. Well, when you stop this stuff, it changes your life. It helps changes your nail bed, your complexion. It changes your hair, whatever hair you have left. And certainly it takes the middle away. The amount of weight under your arms, the excess breast tissue and stuff for you men. You don't want that. Well, guess what? This is the way to do it. So, and then in number 3, I just measure. And because I measure, for me, it's absolutely amazing. It's easier to stay busy. It may be that I picked up a pound or 2. So maybe I'm just gonna be more active. So here's some key tips that'll help you. So I got 3 basic fundamentals I took care of: timing, healthy eating using substitutes, and then I measure. I measure when I eat, what I weigh today. I measure the amount of what I'm eating. Now, I won't go and buy food without knowing what the macros are on the back. How many carbohydrates does it have? I want to know that, right? Now, that's just simple measuring. By the way, we go over this. Get our podcast, download our podcast, Fun Fit Fasting, on your favorite app. You don't want to miss it. Or you can actually get our course, our 28-day body transformation. The biggest thing I want you to understand is this stuff is something that is ultimate. It's a derivative, but I consider it a fundamental. Stay active. The one thing they try to get us to do over the last 30, 40 years, you get to 40 years old or 50, get some Velcro shoes, stop tying your shoes. We stop doing some of the things that are most important, which sets us up for type 3 diabetes. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to fall for that. You can stay busy. Park far as you can from the grocery store, from Walmart, from your wholesale club. Don't park by the door. Park as far as you can. Walk, whether it's raining or cold. Get your body used to moving. If you need something from the garage, go get it. Don't send your grandchild. Go get it. go up the steps, go down the steps. And this helped me because I was the opposite. I didn't move. I wanted to send someone to get everything, and I would get mad in arguments with people over parking right in front of the store. My life changed when I learned to make myself more busy. If I get to the store or get anywhere and there's an escalator or an elevator, if it's 4 floors or less, I'm walking it. And guess what? I can keep the weight off. I stay busy, and I got greater mobility, better posture. I didn't notice this, but the less I did, the more my posture would slump over and be kind of hunched and so forth. But guess what? You can do it. Follow some basic fundamentals in good, healthy aging, and you too will be on your way. In the meantime, I hope these catch you on our podcast. Download from anywhere. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.